Shane Sparks, Big Ten Network Wrestling, and we are joined by the number one 149-pounder in the nation, heading to Lincoln, Nebraska. Ridge Lovett of Nebraska, the Cornhusker, joins us. Ridge, it's great to see you. How have you been?
Been doing great.
Ridge, last year you take a redshirt season. What were the biggest gains you made during that time off, away from the team anyways, and where do you think you made the most improvements?
I think that it really kind of made me hungry again. Like taking that year off, just being on the sidelines having to watch. There were times that I just wanted to pull the red shirt and go wrestle, but it really kind of built up as time went on, is just being at all the duels, going to the tournaments, being at nationals, all that stuff. It really just made me hungry and want to compete more. And technically wise, just working in all the different areas, just becoming more dynamic on top, on my feet, just staying solid, getting off the bottom, just kind of really rounding out my wrestling.
When I look at college wrestling across the board, it is getting so tough to win matches. I mean, guys are getting knocked off all over the place. It's really, really tough to win. You're off to a really good start. You're undefeated. What are you most pleased with in the way that you've wrestled? What's been most critical for you up to this point?
I'm most proud of how I've been wrestling. My most proud match is probably the D'Amelio match. I was just all gassed the whole time. And the biggest thing for me, I think, moving forward is just going to be just to keep that going, because when I'm going full speed ahead, I'm moving forward and just breaking guys, then that's when I wrestle my best, and that's when it's my defense is best, my offense, everything's firing, and I would say probably that.
What do you do, Ridge, to flip a switch? How do you go there mentally before you toe the resume?
I really try not to get too like serious, locked in until like I'm walking out there. So I go out there, put my ankle bands on, I kind of crouch down, sit down a little bit, pray, do that stuff, just get myself locked in. But before the match, it's really just staying relaxed, staying calm. I changed up my music. I used to listen to like more like hard rap, but now it's more like hip hop kind of stuff, just staying loose, bouncing around, dancing a little bit, just having fun.
2022 in Detroit, make a run to the national final. You walk that aisle to the big stage. You fell to Yanni Diakomahalis. What do you remember most from that run to the championship match?
Probably just hanging out with my guys, like going out there, coming back into the tunnel. Everyone's all excited. It's a little weird because you don't really know what's going on out there, especially when we were in Detroit. The TV that had the matches going was like away from us, so we just had the track cast. So it was kind of tough to see what was known. You only really knew if you won or like if they won or lost. But just getting to spend time with my guys back there, coming off a big win, and they were all super happy for me. And it would probably be just spending time with the team.
After that loss and those first quiet times, those quiet moments alone, what were some of those first thoughts that were between your ears right after that match?
I sold the bag. I could have done it, but it was really just kind of like, what's next? I was a little lost then because I knew I had the red shirt. I wasn't thinking about that yet, but it was more like, so what do we do now? Like, where do we go forward from here?
What was the coolest part about that experience besides with the team?
I would say the crowd reaction when I pinned Tariq. That was pretty lit.
You talked about the music. Did you pick your music selection for that NCAA final?
Yeah. So
what did you go with?
That it was Pretty Boy Swag.
Why did you go with that song?
That was my walkout all year. My old roommate Kevon Davenport, he was the one who he said it one time, and I was like, that would be pretty good. And then I was listening to it, like, yeah, that's gonna be it for sure. That'll be my walkout song. And then that was my walkout song that whole season. So I just kept it rolling.
What's your walkout song this season?
I've been changing it up a little bit. At the beginning of the year, I walked out to Pretty Boy Swag, and then we had a duel. What duel was it? We were at home, and it was the last one before we went on Christmas break. So I went out to Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas.
I think that was South Dakota State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the crowd liked that one. That was a good one. And then for the doubleheader we just had, I came out to, what did I walk out to? It was another Soulja Boy song. Turn My Swag On.
Nice. Good deal.
Yeah.
Ridge Lovett from Nebraska joining Big Ten wrestling. Want to go back to that final with Yanni, because it's hard to really comprehend what it takes to be a national champion. When you left the arena, and I know you had the redshirt season, but from a wrestling standpoint, was there anything that stood out in your mind where you're like, I got to get better here if I'm going to take that one step up to the top?
It was going to be on my feet. I have to get better on my feet. Like I didn't even get in on the legs that match. I was getting stung a lot from the open, but like, again, that goes to what I was saying about my Vegas matches. Like when I watched that match, it makes me frustrated because I was just standing in front of him. And with someone who's as dynamic on their feet as Yanni was, like you can't just be a standing target. You got to keep moving forward, which I did a way better job of in Vegas. When I compare those two matches, I wrestled completely different. So, but I would probably say more dynamic offense and just keep pushing the pressure forward.
When you look at wrestling as a whole, Ridge, in your mind, what separates good from great?
Oh, I would probably say heart. Kids who are willing to put it all out there every single time are usually the ones that you can see that find the success. And kids, Tervel speaks about it a lot, just being willing to give your 100%. If you win or lose, it doesn't matter. But if you go out there and just send it, you go 100%, then those are the kids that really make big jumps, make things happen, and make their names.
Was there a point in your career, Ridge, when you felt you turned the corner? I mean, was it a practice, maybe a week of practice, a particular match, win or lose? Do you have any one of those moments early on in your career where it was like, okay, I get it?
I would say, I don't know if there was a particular match. It would probably be, if I had to pick one, it would have been my freshman year of high school. So I wrestled 98, but we were wrestling at these duels in Oregon. We were in Hermiston, Oregon, and it was like a quad match. And so I was already wrestling 106. I weighed in at like 94 or something, but I was wrestling 106, and then I bumped up to 13 to wrestle in our last duel. And it was the very last match. I was the last match in back-to-back duels. One of them I needed a pin. The other one I just needed a win. And I iced both of those, and I was like, I can really do this at the next level too.
Awesome. If you could go back to that time, what kind of advice would you give yourself if you could go back and talk to a younger Ridge Lovett as he prepared to come to Nebraska? What would you tell yourself?
It's going to be a fun ride. Just have fun with it.
You are a pretty loose guy. You and I were talking about before. You know, you win some matches, and you flash the heart for Lovett. How do you stay so loose? I mean, you got a pretty. I'm on the outside looking in, but you seem to have a pretty good attitude. Keep it loose. I mean, how do you keep that approach? How do you stay there?
Wrestling's fun. That's what we got. Brock Hardy made T-shirts when he was getting to fundraise for the World Championships. And the shirt said wrestling is fun. And it's like, that's kind of been something I've been really looking to this season, because a lot of times we take ourselves so serious. Like, yeah, it's a combat sport, this and that, but it's a sport. I've been doing this since I was 4. Why? Like, yeah, I'm better now and we're at a higher level, but it's the same thing. The goals are still the same as when I was 4, as when I'm 23. So it's just remembering why I do it. I did it because it was fun. I've always loved it. So just like not forgetting that part of it.
What is your favorite thing about this particular Nebraska team? I mean, what makes you guys pretty special?
Everybody's bought in. Everybody has the same goal. We all want to get there the same way. We don't want to take any shortcuts, and it's really special to see.
What's your favorite Mark Manning story?
Oh boy. Story. I don't know if it'd be a story, but it's just the things that he says, his little sayings that he has. Some of them are off the walls. He brings out some crazy ones sometimes, but my favorite one's probably George Washington. It took us a while to figure out what it meant before he told us, but we were in practice and he was showing a move on Bobby, throws him to his back, and he's like, right there, he's George Washington. We're all sitting there looking around like, George Washington? He was like, yeah, he's history, buddy. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just, he's always bringing out new ones, and he's super funny.
All right, Ridge, we are going to do a segment called Matt returns. I'm gonna Matt return you a few times, kind of ask you some rapid fire stuff. You're gonna answer a question, work back up, and I'm gonna Matt return you again. So first question, Ridge, favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Batman: The Dark Knight.
Your favorite sports team?
Patriots.
Something besides wrestling that you're passionate about?
Video games.
Favorite video game?
Call of Duty.
If you could meet anybody dead or alive, who you picking?
Tom Brady.
You have a favorite quote?
Oh, be amazing.
Is there a match in your career that taught you the most?
Oh, probably the Seth Gross match my freshman year.
What did you learn in that match?
That I'm at that level and I don't have to try to survive out there. Because that match I was kind of trying to survive, but there were multiple times that I felt I could have really went and got it, but I was nervous. But that was probably the match that I let me know, like, hey, you're ready, just go.
A material possession that is most prized by you?
Oh shoot. Material possession is most prized. I would say probably my first stop sign from Fargo.
Awesome. And how many? I mean, you have you've been there a ton on that big stage, mainly in Greco, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you keep those?
Well, I was on the stage more in freestyle.
Okay.
I didn't win any freestyle. I was 0 for 4 in the freestyle finals, but I'm 3 for 3 in Greco.
Where do you keep the stop signs?
They're hanging up on the wall upstairs. There's one that's not hanging up though, because that year it was when it was during COVID at the U20s, and when it was in Omaha, and they were upside down, so it doesn't fit with the other ones. It was like printed upside down.
Okay.
They handed it to me. I around to take my pictures, and someone's like, "That's upside down." I'm like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "Yes, it is." I looked and thought I've been there before. My bad.
On your phone, Ridge, what is your, what is the screensaver picture?
My girlfriend.
How long you been with her?
Year and a half.
Good deal. Good deal. What is, let's see here. Your favorite concert you've ever been to?
Zach Bryan.
And I'll give you one more. What musical artist are you most embarrassed to admit that you like?
Oh, most embarrassed? That one's kind of tough. I don't know. I don't know if I have any that I'm really embarrassed by. Back in the high school, middle school, it would have been Justin Bieber. But I'm not embarrassed by any of them now.
Well, Ridge, I met return you about a dozen times, and of course, finish the period on top. I mean, that's what you got to do to win tough matches against a guy like Ridge Lovett. Ridge, thank you so much for catching up with us. Best of luck this season. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.